Hey, good morning. It's Crystal Roy with the Safari Group, and I wondered if you've ever thought of investing in real estate. So, a lot of folks I talk with who don't have a vision for real estate investing say, what if it doesn't work? And that's true. What if it doesn't work? But we have proven techniques and processes to help you make it work. You can either invest in residential real estate or commercial real estate. And I'll give you kind of an overview of each of these to see what you think might work better for you. So when you're talking about residential real estate, we have a great resource from TransUnion, Equifax, and these credit reporting companies who have provided resources for free to you, the landlord, to actually do background checks on your tenants. So one of those that I have been using, I think for a couple of decades, is called My Smart Move. So mysmartmove.com, you go in, and for your rental unit, house, apartment, duplex, whatever you are the landlord or managing, you send an email invitation to your prospective tenant, and you can set it so they pay whatever the application fee might be. Let's say it's $50 per adult. So on their side, they're going to accept your invitation, and they're going to go on and they're going to put in their confidential information, and then you're going to get a report back. You're going to get a report back that tells you credit, criminal, and eviction background checks. And from there, you can decide how you move forward. You can move forward to deny an applicant. You can move forward to approve an applicant. You can move forward to actually ask more information for clarity if something comes up as a red flag. An example of a red flag for me when I was processing this for a client years ago was it came back without the addresses matching, right? So I had to reach out to the applicant to say, can you share with me what might have happened here? So we ended up clearing that up, and we processed the application to completion. There are times when things come up and you deny it, and that's just a part of doing business. You say, this doesn't work for me, so your application is not approved. Now, through the decades as well, I've worked with other companies. I know the top 12 rental companies in town. I worked with them a lot. I recently placed a tenant last month, a sweet lady, actually from my high school. And she moved back to town and rented a place near her dad in his later years so she could be nearby to help him with what he needed. So in this case, she made an application with a company, and they approved her, and she got moved in. Now, thinking also about the residential landlord point of view, you don't have to be the property manager. You can, if you would like, or you could actually hire a company to do that. Like I just described, I helped one of my classmates with a rental. But if you're thinking of adding to your investment opportunities, please consider real estate as one of those opportunities. And not just on the residential side, but let me give you an example. I'm working with a client now who is adding to his portfolio. He prefers not to deal with individuals, but with businesses. So we are in search of great opportunities where it's a business and it's real estate that he's purchasing, and the tenant has a long-term great record of paying on time. And then ideally, we like to work with a commercial tenant who is contracted with, for example, the city or with state or federal government. So that might be buying a DMV, which I've helped a client purchase a DMV location. Currently, we are strategizing and offering on one that is contracted with a local city outside of the Charlotte area for a drug treatment facility. It's well within the 1% rule. So for example, if you're going to purchase real estate which has a business already set up in it, it should have several years of paying the rent on time. It should be open to signing a new lease with the new owner. And in this case, ideally, the tenant is contracted with the city to provide services for those people who are in drug treatment. And it meets the 1% rule. So this means, as an example, a round number, if the property with the tenant is $200,000, the lease amount, the rent per month should be at least $2,000. And this particular one is well within those guidelines. So these are more sure types of commercial rental purchases that you can make. And we strategize, paying $200,000 cash. And so he owns the real estate. He automatically affected his net worth. He increased his net worth by the value. And then he's going to cash flow the $2,000, for example, every month. And then, of course, the property will appreciate, and he gets both benefits. If you would like to have a meeting with me to discuss how you can enter in or increase your net worth by working with and owning either residential or commercial properties that you can lease and become financially independent, let me know. Let's just use a round number. Let's say that, in Charlotte, for $10,000 a month, you can live like a king in the Charlotte market. So let's say $5,000, which is still very generous. You can live very well in Charlotte, in my opinion, in my experience, for $5,000 a month. So let's say that you are coming into your 40s, 50s, you're looking ahead, you don't like what the stock market is doing, Bitcoin's not working for you, and you want to do something that's solid that you can put your fingers in and maybe you can walk into. That would be part of your portfolio, would include residential and commercial real estate. So let's say that he's cash flowing. Now he's got a cash on cash return because he's paid cash, and there's a calculation for that. But once he puts out his $200,000, which he might have spent anywhere, he's getting $2,000 a month back. And let's say his actual bills are $5,000 a month with his lifestyle, how he would like to live. Sorry, let me snooze. Dismiss my alarm. So what he needs to do is find 2 or 3 other properties like this where he can take his cash that he's accumulated through his working years, and he's going to put into play commercial or residential units that, once they total coming in $5,000 a month, guess what? He's called financially free. It would probably only take 2 or 3 more units to do that. If we can do that at $2,000, $2,000, and $1,000, then he's put in, let's say, maybe $500,000, right? But all that money is now going to continue to make money. So now he works because he wants to, not because he has to. And now he has freedom to do community service. He can give back to his community. He can do ministry, whatever his heart desires. So I want to just encourage you, if you don't have money, like the $200,000 cash, I have great resources of loans that you can do. I have a 10% loan for investing. Of course, that's after you've done a couple of 20% loan, that you develop your reputation with the lender, that you know how to choose excellent quality opportunities. So you can put down as low as 10% once you have a track record with the lender. But if you started just with the 20%, so if you had $40,000 somewhere, I would encourage you to put that down on a $200,000 purchase, and now you're going to cash flow the mortgage amount of $160,000. You're going to subtract that from your $2,000, right? So that's going to be your actual cash flow. Also, you've got some property management costs in there. But when we start building up, now you might need 6. But it's very doable. You can become financially free in 5 to 7 years, no matter what has happened to you in the past 10 years. It does not matter what happened to you 50 years ago. It does not matter what happened to you 20 years ago. It does not matter what happened to you last year. But you are responsible for what has happened to you in this past year. How have you been financially responsible? How have you measured and decided to become financially stable? What does that look like for you? And how does that impact your most precious relationships, right? What does financial stability look like? What does that mean moving forward? What is your 5 to 7 year plan? I can help you become financially free. We just need to perhaps rearrange some things, have some new target goals. And let's start with, what does it mean to you to be financially stable, right? I have my ideas, and maybe you've never even thought about that. But let's talk. Call me. I'll be happy to walk you through this, so your later years can be your greater years. This way, if your children need help, if your grandchildren need help, you can be available. You can, if you don't have any interest in doing that, you can travel the world. What has been your dream? What have you put on hold? I want you to be able to have very fulfilled later, greater years. So if I can help you at all, it's Crystal Roy with the Safari Group. My number is 704-562-1030, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.